It's January 2021 and marathon training has begun.
Just another sunny day in Southern California. It's where the people came to play. Don't let them transform you. Come and see what you've been missing on a little slice of heaven. It's the only place we're living. It's that West Coast point of view. Easy when it's always summertime for you and I. Every attitude. Who cares what the people think? It's been turning kinda gray in Southern California, but I'm allergic to the rain. What happened to euphoria?
That's it, done. 141.
Yeah.
I actually ran 10 miles slower than a half marathon, but the difference, so that's it. 10 miles done, bruv. First run of the year.
Boom, double figures on Strava.
Ship it in. Right, back to HQ.
Okay, people, so we are back at HQ, and I loved that run today. It was, you know, one of those winter runs where it's freezing cold, but it just felt great to be out there. Felt great to be running, and I'm so lucky to be able to run down the River Lee, and it just looked beautiful out there. The swans are out there, and yeah, I'm just an old romantic. I just love it. It just really is a gift to be able to go down there and running, particularly obviously with Alan as well. So today, like I said, I wanted to talk about 2020. We're now into marathon training, and marathon training has officially begun. I started a little bit earlier than I wanted to, mainly because of what's going on in the world. You know, I struggle personally with this up here. If I'm not in a plan, if I don't have any structure to my running, I sort of wander. And if I have the focus of being in a plan, then I know I can knuckle down and I can beat most things. You know what it's like. If you have a rubbish day, everything's getting on top of you, you know, like we've got at the moment with Tier 4 and all the clubs are shut down, everything like that. It does get on top of you. So be able to go out and run is a gift. It's great to be able to start marathon training a little bit earlier. We've got, 16, 17 weeks to Newport now. Newport itself is in Wales. If you're not here from in the UK, Newport is in Wales. It's a flat, fast marathon apparently, which is one of the reasons why I signed up for it. I also signed up for it because it's got I believe a smaller field than some of the other marathons out there, but mainly because it's a flat, fast route, and I wanted to run in Wales because we've got a lot of 40 runners from Wales as well. So that's the reasons why I picked Newport. Obviously the timing as well, with no London Marathon this year in April, that's in October. I wanted an April marathon to concentrate on. Where it goes ahead, I don't know, but we'll worry about that later. Billy's going to be doing it, so he's out there training as well. The captain signed up for it as well. He's looking for a 3-hour 30 marathon. I know Eddie's looking at it. I'm not sure if he's signed up, and Toby as well. So there's going to be a few of the regular faces that you've seen on the channel also training for this, and hopefully we'll catch up with them during this series. So where do we go? Okay, next week we're going to talk about the plan in detail, but this week we're going to talk about my sort of ideas on how I'm going to train for this April marathon. Okay, so with the plan in place, and I say we'll go through that next week in detail, exactly what each week's going to entail and what I'm doing it and why. I wanted this week to focus on the sort of key elements on which I am sort of really putting my attention to in this marathon training block. I learned a lot from training last year. Obviously, I'm continuously training for marathons because they kept getting cancelled. And I've taken a lot of the elements from that and put them into play for this training block. The main thing really that I'm going to change is the pace in which I train. I've got fitter, I've got faster over 2019. and I need to start really training at a high intensity. It's very easy to go out there and do miles when marathon training in a comfortable level, because that's the sort of habits I've got into. But I do now, I want to step up a gear and get, you know, start hitting that door of 350 in the marathon. I really want to start pushing on, and the only way I'm going to achieve that is through volume and running at higher speeds as well. So my pace, which has come down anyway, where I used to run my long runs, very, very easy pace at that sort of 10 minute mile. That's going to be coming down. You might think I'm nuts, by the way, but more coming down to that 9:09 per minute mile, which is a sub 4 hour marathon, which has actually sort of formed my easy pace. Looking at it, looking at my zones and looking at how I feel and how I'm able to maintain that pace, that sort of, it's actually a little bit out, but let's say, for argument's sake, 9:09, 9:10, around that sort of sub 2 hour half marathon pace is where my easy pace is now at, which I'm really pleased about because I've worked hard to get it. So that 5:40 per kilometre, if you're working in kilometres, or 5:41. I'm actually then going to start doing my sort of tempo runs and speed runs. So I always used to do a tempo run at 5 minutes per kilometre. I don't know what that is in miles, sorry. I'll try and put it up somewhere on the screen if I get a sec. But I've always run that, but actually I've now been running my tempo runs at 5:45 per kilometre. Again, I've come down to try and maintain it. And I'm also, after speaking to some of my peers, like people like Alan and people like that, taking some advice, I'm going to stretch those tempo runs out to further distance, where before I've always kept my tempo runs, you know, up to 10k. I'm going to try and stretch those tempo runs out to about 12 to 14k. Again, try and just maintain that higher intensity over longer distance, but again at a much faster pace, and then, you know, really knuckle down with the speed work. But the speed work is going to be done more towards that sort of 4 minute, you know, 4:15, 4:30ish, but that sort of spectrum in terms of speed, where I could push, you know, get into that sort of maximum velocity and really start working right at the top of my energy systems and start really getting the benefit of that speed work on those interval sessions and those speed sessions that I've designed for myself. So pace is important, like I just said a second ago. That's going to be a real key element, focusing on that pace, and making sure that, you know, I am really knuckling down. You know, it's going to be important to make sure that I do get those easy runs in, and when we go through the plan, you'll see that I've got, you know, quite a few easy runs in there, just as I said, just on a volume basis, really, more than anything else. The other things I'm going to be concentrating on, like I said, I mentioned it a minute ago, is zones. I'm not exactly going to be heart rate training, but I will be using and viewing, I think is the best way to describe it, my heart rate and the zones that I'm training in. I do play around. If you've not seen the video, I did a video about having a purpose to your run. So some of the runs I do, and isn't necessarily on the shorter runs, is just to keep my heart rate at a certain zone and all that sort of stuff, just to keep me occupied. So again, pace and heart rate, I'll be sort of combining the two. They do basically just sort of mirror each other in a way. And the other things, just looking at my list, is my diet. I'm going to be picking up on my diet, and we'll go through that. I'm going to try and clean it up a bit. I do feel I feel like at 12 stone, and I don't know what that is in kilograms. But I do feel like that's my fighting weight. I do believe that I could lean up a bit, and that will just come through. And I try and keep that 12 stone, by the way, because I do drop below that, but I try and keep it at 12 stone, so I know that I just feel comfortable at that level. But I do feel like I probably could lean up a bit. You know, it's like yourself. I just feel like I could lean up a bit. I know that I eat rubbish still, more often than not. So I really need to clean that up, because I think I need to improve myself on that front, just so I try and make me a better marathon runner. And the other thing really, I think just to focus on this week is recovery. Again, we'll go into more detail during the series. We'll talk about these sort of things. But in my recovery, you know, making sure that I am stretching over night time, making sure that I am getting the massage gun out, and, you know, working on those areas that are tender and need some sort of help and some attention, and really managing that part of the recovery, but also making sure I'm getting enough sleep. And on those easy days, these sort of down days, the rest days, you know, making sure that my recovery is an active recovery, that I'm not just, you know, stopping completely and that sort of stuff. Just working on recovery in general and just trying to make it better. I do feel like last year, even though I did a good job because it proved it from the times that they all came tumbling down, but I don't know, I just, you know, it's like you just feel like you can tweak a little bit here and there. And one last thing I think I want to look at is my fueling strategy, because if I'm running these high speeds, I probably need to play around my fueling strategy a little bit. I tend to fuel 45 minutes, take around 100 grams on, and I don't know, I'm going to play around with it. I don't know which way I'm going to go yet. Let me know in the comments if you've got any suggestions in terms of fueling. Yeah, I'm not sure. As you can see, I've not put too much thought in it. I just put a note to say fueling, because when I sat down and I thought about what I want to achieve this year, how I want to achieve it, these are the sort of things. And I would really recommend you do the same, especially if you're going into a training plan. You know, make some notes. Think about, you know, how you're going to achieve it. Don't just download a plan and crack on. Think about these things, what you can change, what you can make better, all that sort of stuff. It will make you a better runner. But fueling is the other thing I'm definitely going to have a look at. So that's it, guys. The series has begun. Marathon training has begun. I can't wait for you guys to follow us on this journey. It'll be, as always, a weekly vlog with some other stuff chucked in there, no doubt. But we will follow the series as we always do. These videos usually come out on a Sunday, depending if we get any races finally coming back. But the weekly vlog will always be there, and it will always follow the marathon training. That was the backbone of this channel, how I started training for the London Marathon. And the mistakes and stuff that I made along the way. Hopefully you'll learn along that. I'm interested to know, let me know in the comments, is there anything you want to see in this series? Last time you guys were really helpful and you asked for some certain stuff, and we hopefully delivered on that. So let me know again, is there anything in this training block, in this series you want to talk about, or me to talk about, whether it be, like I said, the actual training plan, diet. That's always one that always comes up. And if you've not seen it, look at we did some videos with the nutritionist. Check them out. They're on the channel. Look them up. We did some stuff with the nutritionist. And yeah, and recovery, whatever it is in terms of marathon training. Obviously, we do something about the shoes. You can see them there. They're going to stay there until Newport, effectively, because they are the Newport shoes. But yeah, so let me know in the comments, what do you want to see out of this series? I'd be really interested to know. It'd be great also if we could get some of you guys on the channel. If you're training for a marathon like me, let's put a video together. Let me know in the comments, DM me, or even go via the website and send me over an email, something like that, and we'll get you on the channel. But that's it for this week. Yeah, stay safe, obviously, what's going on in the world. Just make sure you take care of yourself, your families, and I'll see you guys next week.